humanity's reached this sort of, I hate to use the word singularity, but they've reached this point where AI is about to decimate the planet with content. It's already happening. I log onto YouTube and I'm like, oh, that looks good. It's a robot. That looks good. It's another robot. And I think you may be one of the last human beings to really reach a niche and grow a name as a musician and an entertainer and a presenter before it becomes very difficult for people to get a grasp in that world, because they'll be competing against gaming, porn, and AI.
Yeah.
And those are three powerful forces.
That's for sure. That's for sure. It is true, I think, in some respects, but I think I don't know. I'm not really as downtrodden about the AI thing as I think most people are. I sort of think what is popular that humans do will change, but I don't think that the popularity of what humans do will decrease. I think a lot of the stuff that people complain about anyway will go away. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, all this really sterile music is blah blah blah. I think a lot of that will get replaced by AI, but I think the janky, sort of weird, normal sort of person, I think that's what people are going to want to connect to. I think it's the person who, you know, is a bit shit on the guitar but came up with this cool song, or the person who doesn't really know how to edit their videos. I think that's the sort of stuff people are going to want to connect with. And a lot of the really polished, like, and even on YouTube you see it like 5 finance tips for your blah blah blah, and it's all, you know, I think a lot of that will just be automated, and a lot of what's human about you know, content or music or stuff, I think a lot of that is what's going to start to rise to the top, and a lot of that other crap is just going to be sort of taken over by AI, which, you know, just doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, it feels like AI is making that stuff anyway. So
I hope you're right, and I think you're right. I also think there's going to be a real resurgence of analog, old school,
I think so.
Live reality is what we're talking about, really.
As far as AI art goes, I just think of it as an aesthetic. Anything is an aesthetic. Like, you see, like Mac DeMarco records all of his music on this, you know, these like old fucking shitty tape recorders, and he records his drums twice. It's like, if you'd have done that, you know, at the time when most people were doing that, people would be like, why are you doing this? But now everybody's like, why aren't more people doing this? So it's like, it's just an aesthetic, and AI is going to have a certain aesthetic. It's going to be probably very polished, very, you know, whatever it is. And people are going to gravitate towards that aesthetic to a certain extent, and I think that's fine. And people are going to gravitate towards other aesthetics, and that's been the way it's always been. The same way people kind of go like, oh, there's no rock music anymore, when it's like, some of the best rock music is being made today. It's just, that's not the aesthetic that's in the on the radio or whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, it's the same with pop music. When people listen to pop music and they go, well, this just sounds like so formulaic. It's like, well, then why do you care so much that AI is going to take that over? It doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant. It's essentially all algorithmic anyway. It's like, okay, these 6 chords work, this, blah, blah, blah. You know, these words, make sure you say it. Make sure you say the word you 6 times in this song. Yeah, who cares if AI takes that over? It doesn't really bother me that much. Yeah. I understand that people are, you know, people who do that for a living are probably going to lose their job in that capacity. But I feel like people always find a way. That's my, you know,
this
feel like
is the eternal optimism in you that's shining through, which is good. We need this.
But I think, you know, the people who apply their skills in those dimensions now will find an equally, if not more, fulfilling way to apply those skills. I don't think the humanity in people who are doing creative work goes anywhere. It's just, you're possibly going to get to apply it in a different domain. And there's this other tool that can be used, and obviously should be regulated. But I don't know. I know a lot of people are really worried about AI, and I can see certainly why a lot of, especially graphics people, are right now, and I totally get that. But I feel like with the right regulation, it can be a good thing, and it's just another aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's inevitable, so we kind of have to look at it that way anyway. It's not going anywhere. The cat is out of the bag, so we might as well try and be as positive about it as we can. That's my opinion.
I had sort of a future image in my head of a direction you could take when AI fixes a lot of the big problems with mankind, and there are no more things to really make you angry and annoyed about to react with. Maybe there would still be sort of mildly irritating things, and then you could just, a top 10 mildly irritating, like when you tear a kitchen roll and you get that sort of tail of kitchen roll that tears off, things like that, that would be
that is essentially what I try to do. Is the videos are like, there's a lot of really awful stuff going on in the world right now, and what I try to do is I try to, for a few minutes, take you and point you in the direction of a really minor inconsequential annoyance and make you laugh about it, because I think sometimes, like social media especially, but I think everywhere you look, you're hearing bad news, really awful things that are happening, and I think it's important to be aware of those things. But I also think you have to give yourself permission to go, I need some time for me, and I can't be thinking about the world at the moment. And I think more and more people are starting to feel like they shouldn't be allowed to do that. And I think it's really important. I don't think you can do anything for anybody else unless you look after yourself. So I have a list of probably like 400 things that like really minorly annoy me, and a video will be made. Maybe AI will even make the videos and put me in them, and I'll just sign a licensing agreement or something like that.
License the IP of the Garron Noone IP. I love that idea. That's a good idea. I feel like it's the internet is almost like a digital presentation device of manifestation. And what I mean by that is, people talk about manifesting. I'm seeing, smelling and touching this thing, and then it comes to me. I mean, I've definitely experienced that. But with the internet, if you search for anything, it manifests that in your feed eternally. So you end up in an echo chamber of whatever you look for. And if what you look for is suffering, you're just fed suffering 24/7. And the human brain is designed to sit in a cave and eat berries. We can't deal with just a bombardment of negativity all the time. So Absolutely. You're right. People deserve a break, and then some delicious food.
The other thing is I think sometimes people think the antidote to that is excessive positivity. Let's be all really positive now. My personal opinion is that the antidote to that is much more minor negativity. That's my ethos, is that you need to complain about the random things going on in your life. Let off some steam, be cranky about normal stuff. And I think people aren't being cranky enough about regular normal stuff. And that's why they're digging themselves into these holes. Complain about the shape of your bowl, that you can't get enough cornflakes into it. You'd be surprised how good it feels.